Hi there, it's Emily, and welcome back to English in Ease, the place where we slow things down, speak gently, and help you feel at home in English. Whether you're out for a walk, doing the dishes, or simply lying on your couch relaxing, I'm glad you're here. This time together is your time to breathe, to listen, and to grow a little in your English journey. No pressure, just ease. Today, I want to talk with you about something that has truly changed the way I live and learn. It's not a grammar tip or a vocabulary list. It's something even more powerful: positive thinking. Now, before you roll your eyes and say, "That sounds too simple," hear me out. Positive thinking isn't about ignoring your problems or pretending everything is perfect. It's about learning to shift your focus just enough so that you feel more hopeful, more confident, and more open to trying again, even when things feel hard. And when you're learning English, that kind of mindset is everything. I've seen it in myself. And I've seen it in so many learners around the world. You could be feeling nervous about speaking, or maybe you've told yourself you're not improving fast enough. You're not alone. We all feel that way sometimes. But what if I told you that changing the way you think could actually help you speak more confidently, more naturally, and even learn faster? Today, we're going to explore that together, step by step. I'll keep it light and simple, and I'll share some personal stories and phrases that you can use in your daily life. If you'd like, grab a notebook, or just sit back and listen. Let's walk through this at your pace. So, what is positive thinking really? Well, for me, it means choosing to see the good, especially when things don't go the way I hoped. It means saying to myself, "This is tough, but I can get through it," instead of, "I'll never be good at this." It's like being your own kind, gentle coach rather than your worst critic. Let me give you an example. Imagine someone learning English. They make a mistake during a conversation and immediately say, "Ugh, I'm terrible at this." That's negative thinking, and it's heavy. Now imagine if they took a deep breath and said, "Oops, I made a mistake. But that's okay. I'm learning." That small shift creates space. It invites growth instead of shame. Here's another. Instead of saying, "I'll never understand native speakers," try, "It's hard right now, but the more I listen, the more I'll understand." See how that feels? It's gentler, it's more true, and it keeps the door open. Positive thinking doesn't mean lying to yourself. It means telling yourself the version of the story that allows you to keep moving forward. Now, I know that might sound easy in theory, but it takes practice. Just like learning English. You need to remind yourself over and over. But the good news is, it works. Over time, you start to believe it, and that belief becomes fuel for your learning. Let me share another example. Maybe you've thought, "My English is so bad." But what if you changed it to, "I'm improving little by little"? Or maybe, "I always make mistakes." How about, "Every mistake is a step forward"? Those tiny adjustments in language reflect a much bigger change in your mindset, and that mindset can make all the difference in your progress. Let's pause for a moment. Think about one negative thing you often say to yourself about English. Just one. Now, can you flip it? Can you soften it into something that supports you instead of stopping you? If you can't think of one now, that's okay. I'll give you a few more examples in a bit. But for now, just remember this. Positive thinking is not about pretending life is perfect. It's about believing that growth is possible. And that's exactly the kind of energy we need when learning something as big as a language. When we think positively, our brains relax. And when we're relaxed, we learn better. It's science. Stress shuts us down. But hope? Hope opens us up. And when we're open, we speak more. We listen more. We try more. And trying is everything. Because English fluency doesn't come from being perfect. It comes from being consistent. It comes from showing up every day and giving yourself permission to speak badly before you speak well. So, let's talk about some common thoughts that come up during the learning process and how to gently reframe them. Here are a few that I've heard from learners, and sometimes even from myself. Negative thought: I'll never be fluent. Positive reframe: I'm becoming more fluent every day, step by step. Negative thought: I'm too old to learn. Positive reframe: I can learn at my own pace. It's never too late. Negative thought: I'm scared people will laugh at me. Positive reframe: I'm brave for trying. Most people admire effort, not perfection. Isn't it amazing how just a few words can shift the entire feeling of a sentence? This practice of changing your thoughts is like a workout for your brain. The more you do it, the easier it becomes. And before you know it, your inner voice, the one that talks to you every day, becomes softer, kinder, and more helpful. And let me tell you, that inner voice matters. Because when you're learning English, you spend a lot of time with yourself. You're the one practicing. You're the one correcting. You're the one listening, repeating, and stumbling forward. So make sure that voice in your head is cheering for you, not tearing you down. Now, in the next part of our episode, we'll talk about why positive thinking is especially powerful for English learners, not just in theory, but in real, everyday situations. I'll share how this mindset can help you stay consistent, feel calmer, and even enjoy your English practice more. Stick with me, we're just getting started. Welcome back. I'm so glad you're still here with me. In the first part, we talked about what positive thinking really means, how it's not about pretending things are easy, but about gently choosing thoughts that help you move forward. Now, let's explore why this mindset is so powerful, especially when it comes to learning English. Learning a language is a journey. It's not always smooth. You'll have moments of excitement, and you'll have days where you feel like you're stuck. And that's completely normal. But here's the thing, your mindset is like the engine that powers that journey. If it's running well, it keeps you going even when the road is bumpy. Let's think about this for a moment. Have you ever felt nervous before speaking in English? Maybe you thought, what if I say something wrong? Or, what if they don't understand me? That little voice of fear, that's negative thinking. And it can stop you from even trying. Now, what happens when you don't try? You don't speak. And when you don't speak, you don't improve. See how powerful your thoughts can be? But now imagine this instead. You say to yourself, it's okay if I make a mistake. That's how I learn. That small sentence gives you the freedom to try, to speak, to grow. It's like giving yourself permission to be a beginner, and that's a beautiful thing. I want to tell you something that helped me when I was learning a new skill. I reminded myself, nobody starts as an expert, not in English, not in anything. Everyone begins with small steps, slow words, and a little bit of fear. The ones who grow are the ones who keep going. That's why positive thinking isn't just nice, it's necessary. Let's take a real-life example. Imagine you go to an English class. Your teacher asks a question and you don't know the answer. You freeze. You feel embarrassed. That's normal. But here's the moment of choice. You can think, I'm so stupid. I'll never learn this. Or you can think, okay, I didn't know it this time, but now I'll remember it. See the difference? One thought closes the door, the other opens it. And this isn't just about feeling good, it's about staying consistent. Because the learners who improve are not always the fastest or the smartest. They're the ones who keep going. So I want to ask you, what kind of thoughts do you usually have when learning English? Are they helping you or holding you back? Let's do a little reflection together. Here's a thought many learners have. This is too hard. I'll never learn. But let's shift that. This is hard, but I'm improving every day. Another one. I made so many mistakes today. Try this instead. Today I practiced, and that means I'm learning. One more. Everyone else speaks better than me. Now flip it. Everyone is on their own journey, and I'm doing my best. These small changes add up. Bit by bit, they help you stay on track. And when you stay on track, your English grows. Now, let's talk about another important benefit of positive thinking: confidence. When you believe that you can grow, you naturally feel more confident. You're more likely to speak up in class, to try a conversation, to listen closely, and to ask questions. And all of those actions, speaking, listening, asking, they're exactly what helps you get better. I remember a student I once worked with named Leon. She was so quiet in class. She barely spoke for the first few weeks. One day, I asked her if everything was okay. She said, "I'm just scared to speak because I always make mistakes." So I asked her, "Do you think other people make mistakes too?" She paused and said, "Yes, but they're not afraid." Then I told her, "Maybe they are afraid, but they speak anyway. That's called courage." The next week, Leon started answering just one question each day. Slowly, her voice got stronger. By the end of the term, she was giving presentations. Her English wasn't perfect, but her mindset had changed. She believed she could grow, and that belief was more powerful than any textbook. So if you're listening to this and thinking, "I'm still afraid," that's okay. Courage doesn't mean you don't feel fear. It means you act with the fear. You try anyway, and trying consistently is what leads to results. Now, another reason positive thinking matters is because it helps you stay consistent. And consistency, my friend, is the real secret. You don't need to study 5 hours a day. You don't need to memorize 1,000 words in a week. What you need is small steps. Every day. A little podcast. A short shadowing session. Reading one paragraph. Watching a short English video and writing one new phrase. And when your mindset is positive, you're more likely to show up, even on the days when it feels hard. Why? Because you believe it's worth it. You believe you can improve. You trust the process. Let's say you're practicing 15 minutes a day. That might not seem like much, but over a year? That's more than 90 hours of English practice, and that's just from a tiny daily habit. Positive thinking helps you keep those habits going, because instead of giving up when you miss one day, you say, "That's okay, I'll try again tomorrow." That kind of self-kindness is what builds lasting progress. So let's review a few key points before we move on. Positive thinking doesn't ignore problems. It helps you face them with calm and courage. It gives you the confidence to try, speak, and grow. It helps you stay consistent, even when things feel hard. And most importantly, it reminds you that you are capable of learning English, no matter where you're starting from. Coming up next, we're going to talk about how this mindset doesn't just help you with English, it can actually change your whole day. From your emotions, to your relationships, even to your health. You might be surprised by just how powerful your thoughts really are. So stay with me. You're doing great. Welcome back. In the last part, we explored how positive thinking helps you stay confident and consistent when learning English. But here's something even more exciting. This mindset doesn't just help you learn. It can also make your whole day feel better. You see, the way you think influences everything. Your emotions, your relationships, even your physical health. When you practice positive thinking, you're not just training your brain for English. You're creating a life that feels lighter, more hopeful, and more connected. Let's begin with your emotions. Imagine waking up and your first thought is, ugh, today is going to be so hard. How do you think the rest of your day will go? Now imagine waking up and saying to yourself, today is a new start. I'll do my best. That small sentence doesn't erase your problems, but it sets a better tone. It gives your mind something hopeful to hold on to. That kind of mental energy affects everything, from the way you walk, to how you respond to others, to how you handle challenges. Let's say you spill coffee on your notebook. You could say, ugh, this day is ruined. Or, well, that's annoying, but it's just coffee. I'll clean it up and move on. Same situation, two very different energies. And when you bring that kind of calm energy into your relationships, people feel it. Have you ever noticed that when you smile at someone, they usually smile back? When you speak gently, others tend to do the same? That's not a coincidence. That's how energy works. Your mood influences the room. Now think about how this connects to your English. If you speak kindly to yourself when you make a mistake, you're more likely to keep trying. And when you speak kindly to others, even if your grammar isn't perfect, they'll feel your warmth. And that's what real communication is all about. Let me share a small moment from my own life. One time, I was at a train station in a country where I didn't speak the language well. I was nervous. I didn't want to look silly. But instead of hiding, I walked up to someone and said, very slowly and very imperfectly, "Excuse me, I need help. Train ticket." I smiled. They smiled back. And even though I didn't say it perfectly, they understood. That moment stayed with me, because it reminded me, connection doesn't need perfection. It needs effort. It needs kindness. And it needs courage. So if you're worried that your English isn't good enough, I want you to hear me. What matters most is your energy, your effort, your willingness to try. Now, let's shift to something practical. Habits. Because positive thinking isn't just a feeling. It's something you can practice every single day. Here are 7 simple habits that I use, and that you can try too. You don't need to do all of them at once. Just pick 1 or 2 that feel good to you. Habit 1. Start your day with 1 positive sentence. Before you pick up your phone or check your messages, say something kind to yourself, like, "Today is a fresh start," or, "I will do my best today." This helps set the tone for everything that follows. Habit 2. Write down 1 thing you're proud of every evening. It can be something small. I listened to an English podcast today, or I asked a question in class. When you write it down, your brain starts focusing on success, not failure. Habit 3. Talk to yourself like a friend. When you make a mistake, don't say, "I'm so stupid." Say, "That's okay. I'm learning." If you wouldn't say it to a friend, don't say it to yourself. Habit 4. Take a short walk or stretch break. When you feel stuck, sometimes a bit of fresh air or gentle movement can reset your mood. Even 5 minutes can make a difference. Habit 5. Listen to something inspiring in English. Find a podcast or a short video that lifts you up. Let it fill your ears and heart with hope. You'll improve your English and your mood at the same time. Habit 6. Smile. Yes, smile. Even if you don't feel like it. Smiling sends a message to your brain that says, "I'm okay. I've got this." It might feel silly at first, but it really works. Habit 7. Be thankful. At the end of each day, name 1 thing you're grateful for. It can be as small as, "I had a nice cup of tea," or, "I learned a new word." Gratitude is one of the most powerful tools for a positive mind. Now, I know life gets busy. You might forget one day. That's okay. The goal isn't perfection. It's presence. It's showing up for yourself again and again. Maybe this week, you pick just 1 habit. Try it for 7 days. Then see how you feel. If it helps, keep it. If not, try another. This is your journey. You get to shape it. And before we close, I want to share a few real stories, because sometimes the most inspiring thing is hearing how someone else made it through. Let me tell you about Sarah from Turkey. She started learning English at 38. At first, she thought, I'm too old. This is for young people. But then she changed that thought to, I can learn at my own pace. She started watching English movies, practicing on Zoom, and after 1 year, she gave a short speech at her local English club. She was glowing with pride, not because she was perfect, but because she was brave. And Pedro, from Brazil. He failed his English test twice. He wanted to quit. But instead of saying, I'm not smart enough, he told himself, this is part of the journey. He started writing one short paragraph a day and recording his voice. The next time, he passed the test, and even helped 2 classmates prepare. Then there's Amina from Egypt. She was so afraid of speaking that she never joined any conversations. One day, she told herself, everyone makes mistakes. I will too, and that's okay. She joined a beginner group online. 6 months later, she became the group leader. These are not magical stories. These are real people who changed their lives by changing their thinking. So if they can do it, so can you. Let me leave you with a few simple phrases you can practice every day. Say them with me, if you like. I am learning every day. I am proud of myself. Mistakes help me grow. I can do this. I'm doing my best, and that's enough. Repeat them often. Write them down. Whisper them on your walk. These little sentences are seeds, and over time, they grow into confidence, ease, and joy. You are not just learning English. You are learning how to support yourself, to believe in yourself, to be kind to yourself. And I'm so proud of you for that. Thank you for spending this time with me today. Stay curious, stay gentle, and remember, every small step counts. I'm Emily, and this has been English in Ease. I'll talk to you again soon.